This might be one of the best intros. The cats just randomly come up. So I think she wants to introduce the video rather than me. Is that right? Yep. Anything to say to everyone watching? No, that's clearly a no. She's gone now.
I don't think it worked.
But yeah, that was unexpected. I've just got really excited because I found out that no longer do I have to press the countdown button where the 30 seconds comes up. I can actually program it in now. So it just, as soon as we go live, it hits it. So shows how interested my life is alongside watching all the wrestling, that I can now program in an intro and an outro. So I might have to look into an outro. But yeah, there has been, I don't know, it's been a weird week. It's been one that I thought would be really, really exciting. Most of it's turned out to be very unexciting. But yeah, we'll talk about that. First of all, Jenna, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good. Yeah, I'm all right. So I had to go back. It seems like so long ago since not last night's Raw, but the week before's Raw. So I had to kind of go back and look through my notes and hope that it like rung some bells in my head. It kind of did, but kind of didn't all at the same time. So I'll do my best. So obviously the week before, Jey Uso won the title, as Raw, SmackDown, and WWE like to do. There's always a little bit of a celebration at the start of the show. He came out and basically said that apparently he's going to fight every week. And then he'll also just take on whoever fancies it as well. So I don't know if that goes to the crowd as well. I'm not sure. Like, jump over, says, you fancy a fight this week? He'll go, yeah, go on. I've told you that I'm going to fight every week. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about that one. Like, because if we just start fighting every week, does it become like the 24/7 championship that we had for a little bit? Obviously, as we expected, after he starts going on for a little bit, he's interrupted by the person he lost the title to. Yeah, I was thinking the same. You may as well let us know how you get on. Let us know if it's like a dark segment or it's actually like a real segment in the show that's coming up. Hope you're well. So obviously Braun Breaker came out and did the whole good guy thing, which is really weird because he's not a good guy. Did the whole good guy thing and said, I respect, I have the same respect for that title as I have for you. On the night you were the better man, goes to shake his hand, and they shake hands, which is really weird because Braun is anything but a good guy. So I don't know. I don't understand. They shouldn't have got rid of him on the title anyway. Like, he shouldn't have lost his title in the first place, but making him a good guy just makes even less sense. Then had the weird segment where Rey Mysterio and Xavier Woods had a match, and Xavier Woods takes off Rey's mask. That was again, I don't know. I don't know sometimes how this booking works. So he takes off the mask and then rolls him up to pick up the win. He goes into the back, thanks Kofi Kingston for letting him do it on his own, and tells him he didn't mean to do it, which makes it even more bizarre. And then goes on to say that Kofi said Jey Uso has offered him a title shot next week, although he's turned it down and said that Xavier Woods should have it instead. So yeah, that's just about as weird as the first segment. So we'll move on. Zoe Stark and Lyra Valkyria had a match. I feel like they've been having a match every week. And then we had the whole section with CM Punk and Drew stood in a steel cage, which was kind of fun. But obviously, we've had the match now, so it's somewhat kind of pointless. But that was a really cool segment. They gave some really damning words to each other, and it was actually really fun to watch at the time. I'm trying to pick out any really good bits. Oh yeah, I thought the CM Punk saying that he's been living in a hotel for 4 weeks because he can't subject his wife to the man that you've turned me into was quite cool. And then sending it back to Scotland in a box, which made me laugh a little bit. And then that was that bit. Judgment Day was in a pointless tag team match against the LWO. We'll get past that. Kofi Kingston fought Chad Gable, another match that I don't know was kind of pointless. I feel like I'm saying this about Raw most weeks now, which is a little bit, which is bad because there was a point at which it was actually enjoyable to watch. It's kind of gone the opposite now. So there was another VT and a QR code from the Wyatt 6, which is weird because surely they should have carried on with the QR codes and the interviews rather than do some QR codes and interviews, throw a little feud in there, and then go back to the QR codes. Yeah, so there's that. I have then put about Gunther in the ring doing more promos, which is obviously my favorite. They have my actual note was they have a really dull segment like every time else, because I feel that's been like the same for the last couple of weeks. But he finally said yes and agreed to the match, which I was so thrilled to hear. Mainly because not of the match, mainly because I don't have to watch that segment that feels the same every single week where he goes, "Do you want a match?" No. Oh, okay. So thank God that's finished. And then Miz turned on R-Truth, which felt like it should have been interesting, but it wasn't, because they give them a big push and then didn't give them a big push. Then Gunther and Braun Breaker stand face to face, which is obviously a future match now. And then we had the last Monster Standing, which I was really excited for because they've been doing some good work with that over the last couple of weeks. But it was just kind of meh. I'm just reading from my notes, see if there's anything worth actually saying. They did the ring collapse, which obviously was really surprising and really shocked me. And then Seth Rollins came back. That was how it ended. So yeah, that was Raw. It wasn't great. So I have 3 lines for NXT because they had like a little mini kind of title night ish. So Roxanne Perez versus Julia was the first match. Roxanne Perez did retain, which is really weird because they've been building this up for weeks. For then Roxanne Perez to just win it and then squash that whole feud, potentially. I don't know. Wesley then defeated Zachary Wentz in a street fight. I do need to go back and watch that because by the sounds of it, that was really good. And then CM Punk was a special guest referee for Trick Williams beating Ethan Page to become the new NXT title holder. Hey guys, hope you're doing well. Thank you. Hope you are too. Then we get on to the bit that we've both seen, which is good. Which is the AEW 5th anniversary show, which I don't know. I was really excited about it, but having watched it and looking back at it now, it was very unexciting all at the same time. Because I think even if I look at the main event, it was pretty naff, to be honest. Yeah, so obviously first up we had the Will Ospreay and Ricochet match. My thoughts on it were, as a match, it was worth watching, but it didn't live up to any of the matches that they'd had before, even in the slightest bit. There's a couple of moments during the match that were really good. The match ended in a double pin. Justin Roberts said Tony Khan said, "Oh, we're starting the match again." And then there was a couple of kind of minutes of back and forth, and then Takeshita ran out, and yeah, that was kind of that. What did you think about it? I thought it was okay. I just was really excited and was kind of disappointed.
It's too early. It was too early for that match to happen, in my opinion. It's because I've just seen all their other matches and they've been so much better.
Mm-hmm.
And because of like the other matches, it's brought so much hype onto this one.
Yeah.
And it just flopped. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It was good, but it wasn't great.
I do wonder whether they've been really lazy and they could have done a lot leading up to a match to build up the match before it happened. But in doing not so, have they kind of just got really excited because they've got these two wrestlers on at the same time?
Yep.
But then by being really lazy and not building up a story behind it, they've maybe made it flop completely, unless the triple threat comes out as absolutely unbelievable. But surely you want the absolutely unbelievable match to be between the two of them rather than being a triple threat.
I think they should do it the other way around. Put the triple threat on the anniversary show and then just the solo one on the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Because that would have more hype to it, if you think about it. Because there would be a build, because it's on a pay-per-view card.
Mm-hmm.
There would actually be a build for it. This is going to sound really weird, but I think it would have been better for the pay-per-view card if they had Takeshita versus Ospreay. Because that's actually been built. There's been tensions in the Don Callis family with how Will's teaming with Kyle, and there's just Takeshita on the side.
Mm-hmm.
So that has more of a story than Will and Ricochet. So I think it would have been easier if for WrestleDream they had Takeshita versus Ospreay instead of Ospreay versus Takeshita and versus Ricochet.
Yeah.
That just makes more sense to me.
I do think potentially they've maybe run out of ideas for their 5th anniversary show. So thought, like, what we do to build up a little bit of excitement for this 5th anniversary show when we know for a fact that nothing else on the card is going to be that interesting. So how can we do that? We've got two wrestlers that is a dream match on at the same time, but then they've actually probably killed it for themselves for the future, because I don't think that there'll be a massive excitement now behind that match if they do it again, just a one-on-one, because people will just go, well, it's just going to be like the Dynamite match again. It's going to be okay, but it's not going to be anything. I think that's the reason why Will and Daniel Bryan were so good on AEW is because they had time for that to build, and then the excitement built, and then the match kind of delivered. Whereas this is just really, when you think about it, without sounding really horrible, it kind of flopped.
It's not horrible because it did flop. It didn't do well.
Yeah. I just think it was quite evident as well that both Will and Ricochet didn't have much say in how that match went. I think if they did, it would have been much better than it was. I think it was quite clear that they were just kind of told this is what's going to happen, rather than letting them have any say in how it looked. So yeah, there was that. There was Adam Page defeating Juice Robinson, which was kind of pointless. They had a kind of mini spat the week before, which made a match. Then Dr. Britt Baker defeated Serena Deeb as well. That was just, again, pretty pointless. And then the main event was one of the weirdest stipulations that I think I've ever seen in recent memory.
You missed the best bit of the Juice match. When Jay White returned.
Oh yeah.
You forgot Jay White.
Well, surprise everyone.
Surprise, Jay White's back.
Let me catch up with some of the comments. Evelyn Posh, hope you're well. And then perhaps they're saving a bit for the triple threat. Well, I certainly hope so, Lee. And then we have a new name in the comments, which is always good to see. Hope you're well. Thanks for tuning in. If you're here, make sure you subscribe to us as well. And your interaction and your comments is always taken on board, and really happy for people to jump in with their opinions and stuff. So the main event was, like I say, one of the weirdest stipulations that I can think of in recent times.
Was it?
Yeah, one of the belts was up for like 20 minutes, and we had
But that's how the belt's always been. I swear there's always been a time limit on that title.
I don't think so.
I swear there was. I swear there's always been a time limit.
With like fact checkers are really good, because then they don't have to go on the Google, and hopefully they don't look like a tit.
So, maybe I'm wrong, but I swear there's always been a time limit on it.
Because it was
like the first 20 minutes. The Continental title was on the line as well. But then after that, it was just going to be the world title.
So we think that the Intercontinental title's always got a 20 limit time.
I swear it does.
Okay, let me just Intercontinental.
It's just Continental. No, Inter. You're thinking of WWE.
Oh, okay, Continental title. AEW.
I feel like it's always had a time limit.
Time limit.
Thank you. I am right.
Who said you're right?
I don't know. Someone said I'm right. I don't know names.
The Continental Championship is the only championship in AEW where no outside interference is allowed when it is being defended, and all singles matches will have a 15 to 20 minute time limit.
I'm right. Does it make sense now?
Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll just move on from that very swiftly. In that, the match was, I don't know. I don't know if my notes only make any sense now. Oh, yeah. There was a big thing about there was only 5 limits left in the runtime, and Nick Jackson came out and said, "It's the anniversary show. We're going to go on for however long we need."
I swear Claudio and Pat came out.
Yeah, I think I did put that in my notes. Okada took
I can't remember
control
exactly.
and maintained it after he returned from the break, but the American Dragon always managed to put back in the fight as time ran out on the continental portion. Okada rolled out of the ring to avoid a pin. Danielson then pinned Okada with a backslide because the Rainmaker was distracted by Claudio Castagnoli in the crowd. Blackpool Combat Club then attacked the American Dragon, while Moxley said none of this was about him. Willie then chased him off with a hammer, which was a surprising turn of events. And then Moxley stood tall in the ring and dared Willie to use the hammer. Willie then grabbed the mic and said that he and Danielson would face Pac and Claudio Castagnoli next week, which I'm ever so excited for. Yeah, that was the end of the 5th anniversary show. I think the 5th anniversary show will go down as a massive, huge L for AEW.
Yeah. I'm still trying to understand the whole Danielson-Moxley feud. Mainly the Pat, Claudio, and Yuta part of it. I don't understand how the titles work. I'm still a bit confused on that.
I was really disappointed that it wasn't Darby Allin against Daniel Bryan, to be fair. Yeah. I just feel that we've seen that match so many times that it doesn't excite anybody anymore. Certainly doesn't excite me. So, yeah, I would have rather seen a Darby Allin and Daniel Bryan, to be honest. But obviously, they don't listen to us. And they just do whatever they want to do. Yep. So moving on to SmackDown, which was again absolutely thrilling. And it's going to be longer, apparently. Like we're actually getting longer. It's going to 3 hours, apparently, when it goes on to Netflix. Although Triple H, when asked if Raw was going to stay the same or get longer or shorter, he didn't actually give an answer, which led. I
thought Raw got shorter.
Well, apparently
that's gone down to 2 hours.
Yeah, so apparently when they come to Netflix, they were both going to go to 3 hours. But this question was asked to Triple H, I think, at the presser afterwards, as to what's happening, and he didn't give a direct answer, which led people saying, "Well, do they even know how long each show is going to be?" So yeah, I hope they're wrong. I don't need another 2 hours of wrestling to watch. I already struggle to fit everything in alongside other life stuff. So we'll find out, I suppose. So we had the illustrious return of AJ Styles. He went into a match and then got injured, and it actually is a legitimate injury. So I don't really know what to say other than that's really unfortunate, because I just actually let out a laugh, which is terrible, because I don't wish injury on anyone. But I don't know. It's just one of these weird ones because, yeah, it's just unfortunate when you come back and you get injured straight again. So haven't really read much into it, although I did see that it was legitimate. It wasn't like kayfabe or anything, which is not good. We then had the really exciting dumpster match, which was a match of the ages, match of the year potential beforehand. It's certainly up there as one of the best that I've seen all year. So to end the match was the only notes that I've got about it. There was a kind of a table somehow set up in the dumpster, which Chelsea Green got powerbombed through, and then the lid was closed. So that was thrilling. Naomi then defeated Tiffany Stratton, which again, completely pointless match. There was then a tag team ladder match, which I was kind of excited about before I found out that the Bloodline would be in it, of course, as title holders. So it's clearly obvious that they were going to retain before the match even started. And that was SmackDown. So even worse than Raw, to be honest. So yeah, that was ever so exciting again. Really pleased that was the first thing I did on Saturday morning was watch SmackDown. It really started my day off well. So yeah, then we moved to Bad Blood, which we have got to really quickly, even quicker than I thought we would. So we had the Bad Blood pay-per-view, of course. I've got quite a cool stat here that we had that pay-per-view for the first time in 2 decades. I'm going to actually find out, which is probably what I should have done before, but thinking on the spot now, I'm actually going to find out what was involved on that pay-per-view. Bad Blood pay-per-views, WWE. Let's have a look. So that's the schedule. So we have had this pay-per-view, a grand total now of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because no, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 in total. So 1 in 97, 1 in 2003, 1 in 2004. But the 2003 and 2004 ones were exclusively to Raw. And then they had so we've had 4 in total. 97, 2003, 2004, and now 2024. 2003 and 2004 were exclusive to Raw brand, and then 97 wasn't. It was replaced by One Night Stand in 2005. And the main event from the last one, we had... oh God. So every single Bad Blood main event was a Hell in a Cell match. If you count that the main event was the Hell in a Cell rather than the actual main event, which was Liv and... Oh, no, it hasn't. It was the tag team match, wasn't it?
Yeah. The
My
main event was the tag
sarcasm...
one.
See, these last couple of... I think it's just... Obviously, my sarcasm is quite strong, but I feel over the last 2 weeks, it's been really, really bad. Just because the wrestling's been quite bad. So... so we had Shawn Michaels and Undertaker on the first one, which was the 97 one. We then had Triple H and Kevin Nash and Hell in a Cell in 2003, and then Triple H and Shawn Michaels in the Hell in a Cell match in 2004. So basically, I do question whether it should be called Bad Blood or whether it should just be called Shawn Michaels and Triple H in Hell in a Cell matches mixed with a modern version. But there we go. That was a completely pointless segment there, but it's giving you a little history lesson. So we had obviously I don't know, it's a really weird one because obviously they had to, again, I talk about like where matches are on cards, and obviously the main event had to be this tag team match that they built up as could be potentially one of the greatest tag team matches of all time, how they've been building it up. So obviously that had to go in that main event slot because they're building it up so much. But then I do question if because the first Hell in a Cell match was so good, whether they killed the rest of the pay-per-view because it was never going to live up to that first match.
Yep.
Which again is they fell short of that quite a few times this year, where they've started off with the match that people are most excited about, but then in turn end up making the rest of the pay-per-view really crap because they've put all their guns into the first match and then everything else has kind of fell by the wayside, which is what I did here, I think. I don't think even if you'd have put these matches in different orders, the other matches would have been any better because they were all pretty poor apart from that Hell in a Cell. So, but I just wonder, I don't know. I just wonder what might have been if they changed it around a little bit. So, obviously, the Hell in a Cell did start, which had a special start time for us here at 11 o'clock, which is only like 2 hours difference. But I suppose they did it once. I don't see they're going to keep it up. They'll just go back to normal. I don't know why they chose this one to be a couple of hours before. I've got no idea. So, obviously, if you haven't gone and watched the match, I would really recommend going back and watching it. I do think it was a fitting kind of end to the rivalry that they've had. I think they can now both go away and kind of find out what's next for them both. So, yeah, there was more blood, I think, in a match in WWE than I've seen in a very long time. There was a moment that CM Punk smacked Drew with a toolbox in the face, which apparently was a callback to Bret Hart and Stone Cold in a submission match in '97. I put both of them came out of the match really good. Even though CM Punk picked up the win, I do think it does equal amounts for both of them. Yeah. I've put what is next for them both, question mark, as I was just writing these notes and thinking. Apparently, according to Bleacher Report, CM Punk has emerged as a challenger for Gunther, which I don't know, is just a complete mismatch for me and not one that I would be excited for, regardless of my hate for Gunther. I just don't think it would be. I don't know. I don't think it would be that well perceived either. As I was thinking about it and currently looking at the people that hold titles currently, I think CM Punk and Jey Uso would be really cool. Yeah, I think that was the plan. But obviously, Bleacher Report seemed to think that he's emerged as a challenger for Gunther, which I don't know how they've come to that conclusion, and unless I'm missing something massive.
Don't trust Bleacher Report.
Well, I have said it quite a few times that it saves my life in terms of doing notes for stuff, because if I miss anything, it's there to tell me. But yeah, I'm trying to rack my brain and find out why, but I can't see why. So then we had the rest of the night that was just outstanding. We had Bayley versus Nia Jax for the
match of the year. Match of the year.
700th time I think I've seen it. I've never been a massive fan of Nia Jax anyway, or Bayley to put it quite. I don't know. It's one of those ones that I didn't really care for. I think at this point, I was telling Jenna before you came on that as I woke up on Sunday morning, I kind of put the pay-per-view on, really like fought to stay awake in the morning of the Hell in a Cell, which I'm really pleased that I did. And then I kind of then drifted off and woke up at some point during the co-main event because I remember the stuff with Rhea and Liv and Dom in the shark cage. And then I think I either fell back to sleep after that and woke up when The Rock came out, or I watched that, but in the background. I don't know which one it was. So I think that tells you not only that I was tired that morning, but it tells you as well that it was pretty naff. So Nia did retain her title. There were moments where Tiffany Stratton looked like she was going to cash in, but didn't for whatever reason. And then obviously there's still a tension between her and Stratton. I don't know. I'm not sure where that ends or what that comes to, because you can't kind of force Tiffany Stratton into a match and say, "Oh, my," I don't know. It's a weird one because the logical thing would be, "Oh yeah, let's have a match between them," but then you diminish the Money in the Bank completely.
Yeah,
you did that, but then you've still got to find a way to make it look believable, which is where I think they've really dug themselves into a hole because they've put them together, but as current title holder, I don't know. It's their problem, not mine. So I don't know where that ends, and I don't really care, to be honest. And then we had Damian Priest versus Finn Balor, which again I was not in the least excited for. Although as I'm reading back and watching bits back, I wonder what it does for the Judgment Day, because during that match there was interference and Priest just kind of brushed them off as if they were ants. So I do wonder what they've done in that, because they've made the Judgment Day look really weak. So God knows what happens with all that. Then we had something that was billed as a historic announcement. So I was thinking, oh, I'm going to get something amazing. And then we found out that we've got a new title, which is exciting.
Hooray.
But then you find out that title is going to be the top two men's title holders and the top two women's title holders going against each other. And yeah, it just makes it completely pointless. Another new comment on the channel. White Hawk, I don't think I've seen you before. Thanks for tuning in again. Like I said earlier, it's always great to have people joining and adding comments. Make sure you subscribe as well before you go away. But what's your opinion on Ricochet joining AEW? Well, it was the worst kept secret in the world when it was being announced. I was excited due to the people that he was going to wrestle. Obviously, we were both all in. I thought it was amazing, even though we knew it was going to happen. The reaction was still really good. So I think I've got some like really positive on it, just because I was there to actually see it, rather than I am as a whole, if that makes any sense. I don't know what you think, Jenna, because it's one that I've just thought about, and I think probably because I saw it live, it was more exciting to me than it potentially would have been if I was watching it at home.
I mean, he wasn't really getting many opportunities in WWE, so he needed to move away. But I just think AEW was shoving him in matches. Like, what have they done with him? Let's be, like, honest. They shoved him in match, already got an opportunity against Ospreay. What had he done for that? Nothing. Because they knew it would be good, even though it wasn't in the end. But still, he's just there, in my opinion.
And that, probably losing that match, because I often think in like the bigger picture of things, and losing that match straight away weakens him anyway. Not that it is any, like, I don't know what the word is. Not that it's any like not that it's bad, like losing to one of the best wrestlers right now. Like, not that that's a bad thing. It just, in the grand scheme of things, he beat a couple of people like that you would expect him to beat anyway. And then Will was kind of in the background going, oh, well, just need to beat a couple of more people. So even in that time, they could have spent that time building that match more in that time, rather than just saying, than Will going, oh yeah, just beat a couple more people, then you can face me. Like, they could have spent that time building it a little bit more.
Yep.
I guess the same question to you, Whitehawk, since you have came in with that question. What are your opinions on him joining as well? So going back to my massive historic announcement that's going to change the face of wrestling as we know it. It is a really, like, a title full of like jewels, and it's gold and stuff, and
it's huge. It's
so
too
yeah,
big.
what's going to happen at Crown Jewel, which is the next pay-per-view, I want to say, because it's November the 2nd. So
it will be
the next pay-per-view,
because it's that, and then it's Survivor Series.
Obviously, it's an exciting one for us because we know that it's going to be on at a time that's good for us. But if the rest of the pay-per-views that have been on at the time of us are anything to go by this year, I don't really hold any excitement because they've all been really crap that are on at a time in our afternoon or early evening. They've seemed to kind of been like I don't know, pay-per-views that are forgotten about. Backlash being one, King of the Ring was another, and then I want to say there was one more. It's not coming to me.
There was the one in Berlin, if that counts.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking about.
Bash in Berlin.
Bash in Berlin. Yeah, that was that was a hoot.
Was it Randy Orton and Gopher? I want to say.
Yeah, that was one that I also fell asleep during. So that's how I remember that match. I remember watching the rest of it, watching some of it the night before, and then some the day after. I believe there was a tag match before that because that was the pay-per-view where we had Damian Priest and Rhea and Liv and Dom, I think, in the tag match.
Yeah. And then it was
so that and the main event were the two I didn't see the night before. So yes. I woke up the next day thinking, I'll watch the main event and that match. And I think the tag match must have been that good that it drove me to go to sleep, which then I woke up as Gunther was holding the title again. So I was like, oh, well, that must have happened. So yeah, not that I'm being filled with massive amounts of confidence that Crown Jewel is going to be good anyway. Obviously, I would have thought we'll be live on here, but I'm just counting down the game, counting down the weeks and the days to War Games, to be honest. So yeah, that is. The historic announcement was then followed by again match of the year contenders between Rhea and Liv Morgan. I have no notes about this at all. because I was really excited about it, and it was just my excitement was completely squashed. So I have put Rhea versus Liv. Raquel Rodriguez made a return, which meant she wiped out Rhea and gave the disqualification win for Liv Morgan. So that clearly was an amazing match. And then the main event was, I think it's up there. I think it might sneak into my top 5 matches of all time, to be honest.
I'm so glad it does.
Yeah, it's just, I don't think anybody would disagree with me on that one. Alongside like CM Punk and Cena at Money in the Bank 2011, alongside all the amazing matches that I've seen live this year. Like it just, I think it beats all of them, to be honest. So I even had, I didn't even have, like, I didn't even think that it was necessary to me to even type down what the match was. So I've got main event dash Jimmy and The Rock. Fill in the blanks there for you a little bit. The match had nothing that was worth typing. And then at the end, The Rock came out and everybody went wild like they do. But I don't really know where he even fits into it at the minute. Is he going to go against the bloodline? Is he going to team up with Roman? I don't know. It's just one of those weird ones. I think they've taken the easy way out. I think they're running out of ideas of what they can do with the bloodline. So they've taken the easy way out and gone, oh, let's just put somebody in and get everybody excited that The Rock's back. And then, yeah, also the same with, like, obviously it's great to see Jimmy Uso back, but I don't know where he fits into it all now either. I don't know. I don't know if you've got any other ideas other than what I can come up with. I just don't see anything that exciting with either of them, to be honest.
I haven't got a clue. When it comes to WWE, I have zero clue.
Fair enough. I don't really know myself, so I can't really give you any answers to that. So other than so my other news section is really small this week, mainly due to me being away at the weekend when I normally type up my notes, and when I've had a little look today, I really can't find much of any importance. So yeah, do you have anything for your corner this week?
Not that I can say. I don't think.
Okay.
I mean, Rev Pro had their show on Sunday, and they announced Tanahashi would be in a what's it called again? A trio with Leon Slater and Cesaro, which is always great. Although Tanahashi is washed as anything, so bit too overhyped in my opinion, but it'll happen.
I'm gonna put your little banner up anyway because I've just thought
my
something.
banner.
There's a match I ain't gonna mention for reasons that you may or may not know. So you can probably fill in the blanks if you want to go and look and then find out for yourself. But there is a couple of big pay-per-views coming up in the world of Rev Pro. And over the weekend and over the last kind of week, they've just decided to announce absolutely everything at once.
Yeah, that's kind of what they do. You kind of do get everything at once.
So they had some cool matches on the Live in London pay-per-view. That was a weird one. There was a couple of matches that I would have been excited to see, I think. I would have been intrigued to see the Danny Luna and Lizzie Evo match. And I would have been intrigued to see the Leon Slater and Lio Rush match.
Yep.
Those two would have been really cool. I don't even have a clue. Has it even happened? Today? Yeah, today. So that has happened. I don't even know if... I imagine the results are somewhere. London.
Of what, the Rev Pro card?
Yeah, the London one.
Yeah, live in London, where Will Ospreay was in attendance.
Oh, really?
Will. Yeah.
Cool.
He loves his Brit Wres. He's there for quite a few Rev Pro shows, which is always nice.
Live in London, 89.
Yeah, in the
London,
229. What a venue.
In the where?
The 229.
Oh,
Who doesn't love the 229?
That sounds great.
They had the bigger Revolution Rumble match. Oh, it was more of a tag, not a Rumble, but still. I call it a Rumble, even though it's a tag. It's because there's 10 of them.
What a name for a venue. 229, the
229.
venue. Where is that?
I don't actually know.
The capacity is a whopping 300 guests, but that's for a conference. So
yeah, it's not a pay-per-view. So it's like their weekly show.
So that would be considerably less when there's a ring in the middle and seats around it. So it's 100 for a conference, but it would be a lot less than that.
Yeah, I can't exactly say what it is.
Well, that's so the Lizzie Evo and Danny Luna match lasted 13 minutes, and Lizzie
I think Lizzie won it, as far as I can remember, because then she got the title shot versus Mina at Global Wars.
Oh, okay.
It was whoever won that match got the title shot against Mina. And Lizzie has the title shot. So I'm going to say she won. So
yeah, she did win. That was on for a grand total of 13 minutes and 32 seconds.
It was.
And then the Lio Rush and Leon Slater went on for a little longer, and Lio won. So, yeah, I don't think I'd have been thrilled on that if I'd bought a ticket. The longest match was 23 minutes and 47 seconds, which was the tag match. Yep. And the shortest was 8 minutes and 37 seconds. So they barely even got down to the ring, did a few moves, and then it was over for that one. So in terms of the next pay-per-view, they have one of their bigger ones of the year in
Global Wars.
Global Wars. It's a couple of tag matches that were announced just to put some bigger names in matches, I think, without being horrible.
What tag match am I looking at?
The Leon Slater, Connor Mills, Gabe Kidd.
That one. That's because who was it who had a match? Gonna forget. It was on Sunday. How have I already forgotten this? There you go. It was Jay Joshua versus Isaiah, and then Jay Joshua won. He beat Isaiah, and then Connor Mills came out and attacked Isaiah, and then Leon came out to help Isaiah, and then I think it was Mills. He was like, "We're team of Gabe Kidd," and then they said, "We have Tanahashi," and it just makes no sense. Like, I get why Gabe's in the team, but Tanahashi, really? His knees don't work. He's the president now. He doesn't need all these matches.
I do kind of think that again was just set up so they could put some big names on the card, and they just kind of put them all into a match and choreographed it, so it somehow worked. But in the grand scheme of things, nobody's going to be really that excited. Then there was obviously, like you said, the Lizzie Evo match was announced. She'd be in that. There is the British Cruiserweight Championship, which is Will Haven against Cameron Kai. Am I saying those right?
Yep.
And then we'll skip past that match. You can probably fill in if you fancy looking why we're skipping past it. Lio Rush then is in a match between.
I still don't understand the Lio match. I'm still a bit confused by it.
Mascara Dorado.
Dorado? I think that's an A on the end, not an O.
Dorado. Oh yeah, it's A.
Yeah. It's really confused me because Lio is like, I'm not gonna have my championship opportunity yet. I'm gonna give it to someone else and have it at a later stage, which makes no sense to me.
The comments are fantastic on this. They say, "Will Lio Rush be at the Southampton event?" And AEW should book Dorada more. He's one of the best luchadors right now. And then somebody also commented saying, "See you there." This doesn't make any sense. I'm not going to call out the person's name, but it says, "See you there. I will indeed. Global Wars. It is indeed."
Wow.
Absolutely outstanding use of English there from
great grammar skills.
Again, I don't hold any grammar skills or spelling skills myself, but I wouldn't even put myself down to do that, to be honest. And then there is another tag match, which I'm sure fills everyone with masses of excitement, that was announced 2 hours ago. A truly global war will see JJ Gale and Callum Newman reunite on the pairing of Takahashi.
Yep.
And Titan.
Titan.
In some AEW stuff, I think, recently.
Has he?
Or I'm thinking of someone else. I think.
What Masked Man are you thinking of?
There is. Oh, yeah, no, it's not him.
It definitely wouldn't be Titan.
It's
Titan would have been there for like Forbidden Door.
It is.
And that's about it.
I can't think now.
See, this match makes sense to me.
Okay.
But that's because I'm like, it kind of makes sense. Like, I get Callum's involvement. It's more I don't get why JJ's there. Like, I get they're reuniting because they used to be a tag team before Callum went off to better things.
Okay.
I just don't see why he's there. Because, like, in New Japan, Callum's a part of United Empire. They have a massive feud right now with Los Ingobernables de Japón. And that's what Hiromu and Titan are in. So that makes sense. But when you shove JJ in it, like, I love the guy, but I don't really understand why he's here. I get it's like a pay-per-view between many companies, but shoving a random little JJ Gale in there, I'm a bit confused.
I'm just slightly worried my house has been taken over by ghosts because there's random things falling off the table. But we won't go there. We'll probably find that out. If you don't see me again, you know what's happened. The other match, apparently, when I'm reading the comments, could be the match of the night. So yeah, you do definitely need to go and check out what's going on with that other match.
What other match am I looking
at? It's not on the card. So we'll skip that really quickly.
What match isn't on the card?
It is on the card, but it's not on the card for the sake of this conversation.
Oh, okay. Thank you. That match of the night.
So apparently that's going to be the match of the night.
No, it's not.
It's one of the comments saying, "Don't shoot the person that's reading the comments."
Oh, sorry. But one of the guys in that match is a really shit wrestler. And the other one's really good.
But yeah, moving on from that very swiftly, before I just slip out with something. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Although we
I've not
do
got anything.
taking away Jenna's corner now anyway, so it's too late.
I haven't got anything else anyway. Only thing I've got is in Noah. They announced I forgot what the tournament's called, but the tournament for the junior title, and that's about it.
Okay.
All I've got, the innovation tournament. That's it.
It's too late. Jenna's corner's been taken down. There's no more.
Oh.
So the only other bit of news that I have got is not the best piece of news. So since we last had the show, we have had unfortunately someone else pass away in the world of wrestling. So Pete Rose is a Hall of Famer. They did a little bit of a segment about him on not Raw that was last night, the Raw that was last week. So he, within WWE, he was known more for his stuff outside of WWE with baseball. So he did have a couple of appearances on the wrestling front at a couple of WrestleManias. He had a kind of like a comedic feud with Kane as well. I'm just trying to. So the ongoing relationship between Rose and WWE is a product of mutual respect. Rose's respect for the unique entertainment form that is WWE, and WWE's respect for Rose's incredible athletic accomplishments in the career that spanned from 1963 to 1986 in baseball, where he broke the all-time previous record of 4,256 hits. He was named in various awards during his career. And he was inducted in the Hall of Fame into the celebrity wing of the WWE Hall of Fame for his contribution to sports entertainment. Obviously, that being of WWE and then his other achievements. So that is pretty much it. I am now going to go off and watch my team play their rivals that they haven't played in many years because of the other team being pretty crap and falling down a few divisions. So that's going to be fun. So yeah, the normal stuff. That is most of my social medias. If you ever want to find me, that is the Instagram that we have. That is our Patreon. Obviously, that's my Twitch that I'm not really using at the minute. That's my cat letting out a massive sigh at the same time. So her support's always great. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I left this week's wrestling as of Raw yesterday for Sunday. AEW is on at a weird time this week, which is this evening actually, because it's called Title Tuesday. So Thursday is going to be a little bit weird because normally on Thursday I watch back AEW from Wednesday. So that's going to be a little bit weird because NXT is on Tuesday, AEW is on Tuesday. So then I'll have a 2-day gap until SmackDown, which I always really look forward to. So, yeah, that's it pretty much. Is there anything further you would like to add even though your banner is not up?
I've got nothing. Nothing else has happened.
I would have. Oh, we'll leave on this comment, which is Lee's interpretation of the new title that we've got. So yeah. Other than that, we'll see you on Sunday. Haven't got an outro that I can add, so it will just abruptly go off. Hope you all have a good rest of the week. Set an outro video, I can just end it.